Right now, your brain is literally rewriting the words you're reading without asking permission. And that's exactly why you can't spot typos in your own writing, no matter how many times you proofread. This isn't about being careless. It's about how your brain fundamentally processes information. Let me show you what's really happening inside your head. When you read something you've written, your brain doesn't actually read what's on the page. Instead, it's playing back what you intended to write from memory. Psychologists call this phenomenon generative perception, and it's been documented in cognitive research for decades. Your brain is essentially hallucinating the correct version over the actual text. Here's why this happens. Your visual system receives about 11 million bits of information every second. That's an overwhelming amount of data. So your brain takes shortcuts. It samples bits of what you're looking at and fills in the rest based on prediction and expectation. This process is called predictive coding, and it's one of the most fundamental principles of how your brain works. When you write something, you create a strong memory trace of what you meant to say. Then, when you go back to proofread, your brain already knows what should be there. It's primed with the correct version. So instead of carefully analyzing each letter, it schemes the text, confirms it roughly matches the expected pattern, and shows you what you intended to write. The actual typo becomes invisible. Researchers at the University of Sheffield demonstrated this with eye-tracking studies. When people read their own writing versus someone else's, their eye movements are completely different. Reading your own work, your eyes jump around more, fixating for shorter periods, because your brain is relying on memory rather than careful visual processing. You're literally not looking as closely. There's another factor making this worse, something called cognitive fluency. This is the subjective ease with which you process information. When you read your own writing, it feels fluent and familiar because you created it. That feeling of fluency tricks your brain into thinking everything is correct. Your brain interprets that smooth, easy feeling as a sign that no errors are present. And it gets even stranger. Your brain corrects errors in real time even when you're reading other people's writing. You've probably seen those viral posts where letters are jumbled in the middle of words, but you can still read the sentence perfectly. That's not a magic trick. It's your brain's predictive system filling in gaps automatically. The difference is, with your own writing, this correction system is turbocharged because you have such strong expectations about what should be there. This is why professional writers and editors use specific techniques to outsmart their own brains. Some read their work backwards, sentence by sentence. This disrupts the predictive flow and forces visual processing. Others change the font or format before proofreading, making the text look unfamiliar enough that their brain treats it like someone else's writing. Some use text-to-speech software, because hearing the words engages different neural pathways than reading. The time delay technique is particularly effective. When you let your writing sit for a day or more, the memory trace weakens. Your brain forgets the exact wording you intended, so it has to rely more on what's actually written. Studies on memory consolidation support this. The specific details of recent memories fade quickly, even though you retain the general meaning. Here's the really humbling part: even knowing all of this doesn't make you immune. Right now, as I wrote this script, I probably missed typos that seem obvious to you. My brain is doing exactly what I'm describing, confidently showing me the correct version while the errors hide in plain sight. It's not a flaw we can eliminate. It's the price we pay for having a brain that's optimized for speed and efficiency rather than perfect accuracy. Your brain isn't trying to deceive you. It's trying to help you process the world faster than conscious attention would allow. But that same helpful system becomes your enemy when accuracy matters more than speed. The typos aren't invisible because you're not smart enough or careful enough. They're invisible because your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do: predict, fill in, and smooth over the gaps. If this kind of mind-bending psychology fascinates you, follow for more breakdowns of how your brain is secretly running the show.